How y'all doing today? Well, I am going to show you guys some of the knots that I tie. Not only knots, but the different situations in which I use these knots. If you guys have come to find out, there's a lot of different knots that people tie and swear by in different situations, but the ones that I found that worked and on certain baits, it really all depends. It really all depends, but this is what works for me. First knot I'm going to show you guys is the Fisherman's knot. Simple as simple gets. This is the knot that you probably all know about. It's super easy to tie. I tie it's called the clinch knot or the improved clinch depending on how you tie it. The first one is just the improved clinch knot. That's what I use 90% of the time if I'm tying hook to line. Well, this is a different scenario, but this heavier bait, I'm going to tie a fisherman's knot to it. If the smaller swim baits, this is the 4.5-inch voodoo mullet, because it's a little heavier and it has the O-ring attachment up front. It has a little bit more weight to it. The O-ring helps it move around. If it didn't have the O-ring and it was just the eye right there, I would tie a loop knot, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now, with the O-ring, helps it move around a little bit more, and since it has the bait itself has a little bit more weight to it than a smaller bait with an O-ring, I'm going to tie just a regular fisherman's knot to it. As you guys probably already know this. You just bring the tag end through. I loop it around as many times as I want, 5, 6, 7 times, until it looks decent. Put the tag end through, then it creates another loop. Pull that tag end through the loop. Bam. You just pull it tight. Cut the slack off. You got yourself a fisherman's knot. Super simple. Now that's what I tie probably 90% of the time. I tie that straight to hooks if I'm using live bait. Most lures that I don't really care if they move or not, jigs, stuff like that, stuff that has a little bit of weight to it. Now if this was the 3.5-inch, which is the smaller voodoo mullet, or top water, anything you don't want the knot directly on the loop so the bait moves around freely, flukes, hard plastic top waters, like something that's not going to get hung up in weeds, like if I'm throwing a spook or something like that around a dock. You want the freeness, the bait to move back and forth. A fluke, a jerk bait, you want the bait to move freely, so I tie a loop knot. And the easiest way I tie a loop knot is tie a granny knot. Don't tighten it up, so you create that loop right there. You have your tag end. You put the tag end through the eye of the hook. Now because this bait has a split ring on it, you usually don't have to do it because it creates that freeness, but I'm just using this as an example. So you put the tag end through like so. The tag end is through the eye. Then with the tag end, bring the tag end through the loop once and then twice. And I'm making this one pretty big. Usually you'd make it smaller, but I'm showing you as an example. So it's through, you tighten it up, make sure it's tight, bam. That knot not going to come undone. So you got your loop, and this is an over dramatic loop. I did it on purpose. You can see, tight knot, you can cut the tag end off, bam, it freely moves around on there. Some people tie it on their live bait hooks. I don't like that. I just don't. Anyway, it's just personal preference. But loop knot, I'll tie this on, as I said, any walking baits, any bait that I'm going to, I want to move freely. Now, if there's a bait that I want to throw in, say, like a horny toad or a hollow body frog or something that there's a lot of weeds around, mostly top water, but if there's a lot of weeds around and I keep on getting snagged because the tag end of the knot is getting weeds stuck on it, I'll just tie a regular clinch knot, which is literally the fisherman's knot that I just showed you. You know, you loop it around 7 times, whatever the case may be, if you want to do 5, 6, 7. And then I bring it through the loop, and instead of going back through, I just pull it tight. The knot, if you tie it right, you're not going to get it, it's not going to come undone. But when you do that and you cut it right at the end, it just has a lower profile to it. The tag in, I didn't cut it as close as I could, but you can cut the tag in pretty close, and because you didn't bring it back through the loop, the tag in is facing more down instead of facing up, and so you have less of a chance of snagging on, you know, debris in the water. So that's what I tie for my horny toad and what I tie for my hollow body frogs, because I'm throwing in that thickness, the thick grass, and I don't want to get caught up, so I don't do the extra step for the improved clinch. Some people, it's not as strong, but you don't get as much. It's not as strong, but you don't get caught up anywhere near as much on the weeds. Now, for tying line to line knots, there's one that I've always used and never had an issue with, and that is the uni to uni knot. Yes, there are stronger knots out there, such as the FG, but when you're talking about simplicity and being able to tie a knot like that if you have to, uni is your best bet. Now, the uni is super easy. And the way you tie that, and I've done videos on it before, but I'm trying to go over everything, and those are older videos, probably not as good quality. I haven't seen them in a while. But anyway, you get your 2 tag ends. I got 40-pound Power Pro right here, and I got 30-pound Vicious Fluorocarbon leader. And this is on my bait caster, my Shimano Calcutta. So basically, you get a good amount of tag ends, probably about 7 or 8 inches is usually what I do, so it makes it easier. And you can start off from any side. I'm going to start off with the fluoro side. You make a loop with the fluoro, like that. Make sure that your braid is even with the top of your fluoro, like that. And with the tag end, you bring the tag end through the loop. Once, twice, and with the thicker leader, I usually do it 3 times. You pull that tight. There we go. There we go. Make sure it's nice and tight on there. You can see you made that one uni knot. So that's why it's called uni, because there's 2 uni knots. Then you do the exact same thing to the other side, but you do it with the braid. So make sure that fluoro is up there, make the loop. You do it once, and with the braid you can do it more. So I do it 4 or 5 times with the braid. The thinner the leader, the more times you can wrap it without the knot getting too big. But since this is a thicker leader, the knot would be way too big. I wrap that, pull it tight. You can see now you got another uni knot. And then some people wet it. I'm fine with it. You just pull it, and the 2 knots will meet in the middle like that. You just pull it tight. There you go. So you got your uni to uni knot right there. And so all I got to do is cut the tag end off. Very simple but strong knot that severely doubt is going to break on you unless you tie it wrong or you apply too much pressure. But as I said, I have broken off on this knot before on very rare occasions. If I get caught on structure, I have to pop it off. But besides that, a fish has never broken me off on this unless it got caught in the structure. So just from the fish pulling, there you go. You got a pretty tiny knot. The fluoro is a little thick, so it can be trouble getting it through the guides of, say, a microwave guide, for instance. So on my bait caster, that's what I have. So sometimes it's a pain to get this knot through. And in that case, I'm learning the FG knot right now. I'm not going to tie it on here because I've only tied it a couple times and I've messed up half the time. So I want to get that down before I really show you, but I'll do a video on that later. And anyway, but those are the basic knots I use. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Let me know if there's any more how-tos you want me to do. I'm going to try to come out with a couple a week, or try to do it. This week, the wind's blowing pretty hard, so I doubt I'm going to be doing too much fishing, but you never know. It happens. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and you all have a good day.